Hi everybody! How's everyone doing? Is everyone's week going well? I hope so. We are making our breakfast for this week. We're making breakfast enchiladas. They sound so tasty and so good, and they're perfect for actual breakfast or what we're doing for tonight is breakfast for dinner. So it works either way. Let's get to it. It's time for another episode of Cooking with Kaitlin. That's me. Enjoy! Alright, so first things first is we want to get our eggs ready so that they're just ready to go in when it's their time. That knife going. So we're just going to crack them and scramble them and then just cover this. Maybe even put it back in the fridge while we're doing the rest. But it's kind of got to go in right at a moment, and so I don't want it to suddenly be like, oh, let me go crack and kind of beat all these eggs really quick. If Sean were able, or if guest chef D were visiting, or any of my other parents or people I can kind of talk into doing for me in the background, I would wait, but just to be on the safe side, we're just going to start cracking our eggs into this so that it's done and ready. Should do at least 6 eggs. If you're kind of doing a whole set of enchiladas, you can do a little more. If you just know you're going to be making a little more, you want them a little fuller, what have you. You want at least 6. I know we're going to eat more of them. We'll have some leftovers, and Sean, he just eats his one real meal of the day. So I'm going to do 9 eggs. Actually, just really kind of protein pack them with the eggs so that we are good. Okay, there we go. 9 eggs in there. All right. Just and stirred. All right, so I'm going to cover this. Oh, there's one yolk that didn't totally. There we go. Come on. Come on, last little yolkie. There we go. All right, so I'm just going to cover this and set it in the fridge. Be right back. Next thing we're going to do is cook our vegetables that we're putting in. So we're going to do a bell pepper. Getting that in there. We're going to get that off and the seeds out. Remember, of course, the seeds are the hot part. They're the part with the capsaicin in it. Gives it any heat. It's also why these aren't too hot. They'll be fine. If it was something like a jalapeno, I should be wearing gloves. Just because. You could, of course, do jalapenos in your breakfast enchiladas. That is up to you. Lots of veggies you could add. Or not. Your choice. Alright, we're just gonna slice it. And just get them down to kind of nice little chunks. Like we do. Kind of nice little bite-sized chunks to go in there once we're done cutting that up, and then we'll get to the onion next. Alright, so just kind of your preference, however big or small you'd like them. Alright. So I'll finish up the pepper and we'll check back for the onion. Alright, on to the onion. If you're not super into onion, you could always just do half to get that flavor without having that kind of overkill. As y'all well know, but actually I saw we have like a new subscriber or two this week, so maybe you don't, or maybe you just finally subscribed and you've been watching all along. I have no clue. But Sean and I really like onions and peppers, so we're never gonna kind of skimp on it unless it's made for other people who we know do not like them, who we know do not like them as much as we do, but we love onion. Oh yes. Gonna get that onion sliced up. All right. All right, so we're going to finish up the egg. All right, so we're heating up a skillet with some oil in it. Put our veggies in. Put all those in there, the onion, the pepper. One thought he was getting away and he was wrong. All right, what did you do? Move it around, and then we're going to add some seasoning to it. Seasoning throughout. And since these are enchiladas, we're going to do a little chili powder, little cumin, but even just a little bit of cilantro too, just for fun. And some pepper and some salt. And we're just going to kind of lightly saute these about 5 minutes or so. Get them going. Get them nice and tender, and then we're going to add in our sausage. Oh, sorry, I meant to pause you guys. Alright, so get them sauteed for about 5 minutes. You see they're getting very nice and tender. So we're going to kind of, because the middle part is kind of the hot spot for it. So we really need to cook in. So that's where we're going to put our sausage. Our onions and bell peppers. Alright, so we're just going to let this cook up and then we'll start kind of mixing and chopping it up. It's a nice little bit. We're just getting it like that. Yay. We're going to add just a little bit more seasoning, just a few shakes onto our meat. It's done got some pretty good seasoning to it, but kind of getting that flavor palette throughout. And while I just use kind of regular breakfast sausage, you could also use chorizo or bacon if you wanted. You could go meatless, use some portobello mushrooms. Alright, going to put the top on and just let that kind of cook itself up for a few minutes, then we'll check back. Alright, so these are done. I'm just going to drain them and then we'll get to the eggs and mixing everything up. Alright, so we've left the seasoning. We've got enough oil in there. Going to pour all our eggs out. Let them cook up. And then we'll incorporate the sausage and veggies back in. In the meantime, as we are getting close to being able to put these into the oven, I've preheated the oven to 375. And there's still plenty of spice on my pan, so I did not feel the need to add anything to the egg. There is still so much all around the bottom and the sides. As we can see, as we cook it up, we see it all kind of stirring right on in there. So we want flavor throughout. We also just want to just like kill ourselves with flavor. Overpower the dish. You want it nicely represented, not overpowering. So we're just going to keep doing this till the eggs are cooked up. So we'll check back once they're all cooked up and we're mixing everything in. Alright, so our eggs are nicely cooked. We're going to add some of our cheese in here with that. Save the rest to sprinkle on top. Good. Then I'm going to add, before we get our other mixture, I have just a little bit of salsa left over from when we got to go from a local restaurant last weekend. We're out of chips and everything. And it's just got a really nice burst of flavor. I'm going to scramble, kind of get that on in there too. I'm also just going to add some tomato and stuff, which is nice on the inside. Not being too overpowering, but just had some left, might as well use it up, kind of a thought. Now we're going to add back our sausage and bell pepper and onion that we have let drain. You don't need all that grease. I know some recipes are just like, oh, just cook it all together, it'll be fine, blah, blah, blah. I do not want that much grease. I'd recommend degreasing like this, just kind of draining it. I think your stomach will feel happier if you do. So got it all back in. Alright, that's looking nice and good. Alright, let's get you guys moved. Alright, now we're going to put our mix into our tortillas. Oh, and see, we've already got our casserole dish. We've just put just enough enchilada sauce on the bottom to line it on the bottom. We're just going to get these. There we go. Kind of your choice. I know some people make a lot of them really skinny. Some people do a little less, a little bigger. I probably like to do more. Yeah, do ones that are a little more packed and you have less of them. I am probably on that side, obviously. So we're gonna do that. Roll. And then just flip them down, seam stuff down. We're going to do that till we get them all across, so we'll check back after that. Alright, so we still got 8. Looking good. Our oven preheated to 375. So we're going to just kind of coat it. With that. Oh yes. And then some more cheese on the top. And then we're just going to cook them for about 10 minutes in the oven. Kind of letting that tortillas crisp. There's not much cheese left. We'll just put it up. There we go. Alrighty. Gonna put them in the oven for 10 minutes. Then we'll take them out, eat and enjoy. Ready to come out of the oven. Looking so good. I will admit I did put them on low broil the last minute and a half just to kind of get that nice crustiness on the cheese. All right, y'all. Bon appetit.